Kyle Larson is the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion. He won at Texas the day before. He was 6th in points. Everything looked good for Sunday. Then, on lap 160, he lost control in turn 2, hit the wall, and his race was done. No contact, no tire, just one mistake. So, how did it all go wrong so fast? Let's go back to the start of the weekend at Texas Motor Speedway, because the Saturday version of this story sounds completely different. Larson was racing in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on Saturday, May 2nd. He started 3rd in Stage 1, behind Justin Allgaier and Connor Zilisch. When Stage 3 started, Zilisch led. Then Larson moved inside. Zilisch went loose. Brent Cruz jumped in, and for a moment it was 3 cars fighting for the same piece of track. Larson forced his way to the front. With 80 laps to go, he had a 2.3-second lead, and he never looked back. He beat Allgaier to the finish line by 0.293 seconds, his second O'Reilly win in 4 starts in 2026. That night, Larson was already thinking about Sunday. He had led the most laps at Texas the previous spring. He finished 4th there. He came in ranked 6th in Cup Series points for the Wurth 400. Everything pointed toward a strong run. But here is what most people forget before we get to lap 160. The week before Texas, Larson got wiped out at Talladega. He started from the front row after rain canceled qualifying. The first pit stop cost him fuel. He had to save, and that dropped him back. A slower second stop killed his draft. Then, on lap 115, a 26-car wreck hit in Stage 2. Larson was trapped in the middle of it. He scored 40th. He walked out of that race still in 6th in points, but his car was done. 2 races, 2 early exits. And now he was rolling to the green flag at Texas Motor Speedway on Sunday, May 3rd. The Wurth 400 aired on FS1 and HBO Max. 267 laps, 400 miles, 38 cars. It did not take long for things to get complicated. Christopher Bell was running at the front early. He had the lead. Then came the tangle with Gilliland. Right there in Stage 1, the race changed. Bell crashed out of the lead. One of the fastest cars in the field was suddenly damaged and fighting to stay on the lead lap. That brought out a caution. The field bunched back up, and just like that, the race that was supposed to settle into a rhythm turned into something much harder to control. Larson was in the mix. He was doing what he needed to do, staying patient, staying clean. He was running 18th when Stage 2 started. Not the spot you want, but 18th at Texas with fresh tires and clean air ahead is not a death sentence. Then came lap 160. Here is exactly what happened. Near the exit of turn 2, Larson lost control of the number 5 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet. There was no contact from another car, no blown tire announced by a loud pop on the broadcast. No debris in the racing line. It was a single car crash. His car snapped, and before he could catch it, he was into the outside wall. Texas Motor Speedway's turn 2 is known for being tricky. The exit is fast, the wall is close. Corey Day had hit the same wall the day before in the O'Reilly race, crashing hard on lap 1. It is a corner that punishes any small mistake, and on lap 160 of 267, Kyle Larson made one. He limped back to pit road. The steering was a problem. The car was not driving right. His crew took a look, and what they found was bad enough that they sent him to the garage, not for a quick fix, for full repairs. And we all know what that means when there are still over 100 laps left. Now remember, this is the defending Cup Series champion. This is the man who won the O'Reilly race the day before on the same track. This is someone who entered Sunday 6th in the standings, fully in the fight for a deep playoff run, and now his car was in the garage. The number 5 team tried. They worked. But the kind of damage you take when you hit the outside wall at speed at Texas is not something you fix in 20 minutes and come back to fight for the win. You fix it to try to salvage as many points as possible. You fix it to not lose everything. That is a brutal shift in a single afternoon. While Larson was in the garage, the race kept going and kept breaking. Lap 257, 10 laps from the end. Corey Heim spun and hit the wall in turn 4. Another caution, another reset. The leaders now had to restart with everything on the line and almost no room for error. Then John Hunter Nemechek spun after the white flag. He made it to pit road, but the chaos was not over until the very last lap. Chase Elliott held off Denny Hamlin. Elliott took the win. The race ended under tense conditions that had been building since the Christopher Bell crash all the way back in Stage 1. It was exactly the kind of race where if you are already in the garage, you are not just missing a win. You are watching the field sort itself out without you, watching points change hands, watching your 6th place position in the standings get pressure from every car that finishes in front of where you ended up. Let's bring it back to the title. Kyle Larson, Stage 2 crash at Texas. That one moment near the exit of Turn 2 on lap 160 is the entire story of his Sunday. Not the championship talk, not the Saturday win, not the 6th place standing in points, the crash, and when you look at the pattern, it gets harder to ignore. Talladega week, trapped in a 26-car wreck, 40th place. Texas week, single car crash into the wall. Garage. Another race that ends way too early. The defending champion has now had 2 consecutive cup races where he never got a real shot at the finish. That does not change the fact that Larson is still 6th in the championship standings. He is still in the fight. He still has Hendrick Motorsports behind him, which has the resources to respond. He still has the talent that put him in that position in the first place. But the math only works if the car stays on the track. And right now, the car keeps finding the wall. Here is the question no one is asking yet, but everyone should be thinking about. At what point does a bad stretch stop being bad luck and start being a pattern? Talladega is a super speedway. The big one is a fact of life there. You can file that one under unavoidable. But Texas, a single car crash on lap 160 with no contact, that one sits differently. Larson himself has said nothing publicly to explain what happened in Turn 2. No quotes, no explanation from the team, just the damage, the garage, and the points lost. That silence is louder than anything he could have said. Chase Elliott won the Wurth 400. Denny Hamlin finished 2nd. The race ended with a restart built around a Corey Heim crash with 10 laps to go, and then a Nemechek spin after the white flag. Kyle Larson was nowhere near any of that. He was in the garage on lap 160, the defending champion, on the same track where he had won less than 24 hours earlier. 2 different races. 2 completely different stories. That is Texas 2026 for Kyle Larson. And with the season still running, the only thing left to figure out is whether Sunday was a one-time slip or the start of something that starts to cost him in the standings. The next race will tell us a lot. But Texas, a single car crash on lap 160 with no contact, that one sits differently. Larson himself has said nothing publicly to explain what happened in Turn 2. No quotes, no explanation from the team, just the damage, the garage, and the points lost. That silence is louder than anything he could have said. Chase Elliott won the Wurth 400. Denny Hamlin finished 2nd. The race ended with a restart built around a Corey Heim crash with 10 laps to go, and then a Nemechek spin after the white flag. Kyle Larson was nowhere near any of that. He was in the garage on lap 160, the defending champion, on the same track where he had won less than 24 hours earlier. 2 different races. 2 completely different stories. That is Texas 2026 for Kyle Larson. And with the season still running, the only thing left to figure out is whether Sunday was a one-time slip or the start of something that starts to cost him in the standings. The next race will tell us a lot.